University Press, we are driven by excellence. Internally and externally.
Hello viewers and welcome to the Oxford University Press talk show. Oxford University Press is a global entity and as such, it has stakeholders in each market. As an organization that promotes quality learning, it is important for Oxford University Press to be seen as an organization that embraces diversity and inclusion. Diversity and inclusion isn't just about compliance. It is about connecting with the customers, the employees, the stakeholders outside of the organization. And diversity and inclusion is also about uniqueness, appreciating that all of us are unique and we operate in a safe environment where our uniqueness is appreciated and rewarded. For that reason, Oxford University Press is rolling out an agenda to sensitize all employees on diversity and inclusion. At Oxford University Press East Africa, one key aspect of diversity and inclusion is ethnicity. And for that reason, today, we're going to discuss ethnicity. With me in the panel to discuss this, we have
Rose Kivuva from the Kamba community.
I am Edwin Derito, a Kikuyu.
And I am Ayla Abeo from the Mijikenda community.
I'm Cliff Howard from the Luo community.
Pauline Begeke from the Kisi community.
I'm Simon Alube from the Luya community.
And I'm your host, David Muchungu from the Mbera community. So ladies and gentlemen, to begin, what is your understanding of ethnicity?
My understanding of ethnicity is a state of belonging to a social group that has a common national or cultural tradition. Yeah.
Is ethnicity a good thing?
Sometimes.
Yes
No.
and no.
No.
Yeah.
How is it a good thing?
To start you off, I think it's a good thing to identify with an ethnic group. It
Yes.
gives you a sense of identity, and once you identify with an ethnic group, you're confident. And that confidence should show at your workplace in terms of productivity.
In addition to that,
Yes.
I will say that ethnicity allows me as a Kisi appreciate that we are different
Yes.
along ethnic lines. And despite these differences, we can still coexist and still work in unity.
So you get to appreciate other people, those
Yes.
differences, and they become your strength.
Yeah.
How is it a negative thing?
It can be a negative thing when now, for example, employees from a given ethnic group,
Yes.
an example is myself being a Mijikenda, now choosing to only associate with people from my community
Yes.
and isolate ourselves from the rest, probably feeling inferior or maybe better than the others.
So it affects your performance.
Yes, because now we are not able to interact as a team, even because not all of us in a team can be coming from the same community.
Okay.
So that enhances it prevents us from working together. Yes.
Yeah.
Any other negative
And I
aspect?
think it can be deemed as a bad thing when one's ethnic pride
Yes.
desists one person from respecting others
Yeah.
or gives a right of feeling superior over other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And considering that in Kenya we have 45 officially recognized ethnic groups, what are some of the connotations around ethnicity, if we may say?
So we find you find from the Kikuyu community,
Yes.
from Edo's place,
Yes.
everything about them is about money. Like sometimes it's money.
Yes.
Yeah. So we believe that they are more of a money-minded kind of people.
Yes.
We come to people like us. I have to speak about myself.
The
Luo community. We are deemed very violent. But sometimes we're just exercising strength, things that we believe in. We also told that we are very good, we are romantic. I don't say. We find Ayla from the Mijikenda people on the coast region.
Yes.
They are deemed very lazy.
Lazy.
Yeah. I know she will complain.
Ayla doesn't agree with you.
They blame the weather, but it's fine.
I will speak for them. They are not lazy. Probably slow, but
Yeah.
there's a saying that goes slow but sure. So
Oh,
we just
Well and good. It's your perception.
Yeah.
So from the Mbere community and from the Kisi, they
Yes.
also believe that they are a ticking time bomb. Anything just makes them get agitated, and from the from Alube's place in the Luya community, they love food.
Is the reality on the ground, or are these just perceptions that people have?
That's just perception, but if you get closer to each and every tribe, you begin to learn and understand who they really are and appreciate them.
Okay.
Yeah.
To add on Cliff's point,
Yes.
once those are generalizations,
Yes.
and once you get to interact with an individual, for instance, Isla from the Mijikenda community from the coast region, you actually get to know that there are some people from the coast who are very ambitious and they're go-getters. So it doesn't have to mean that a general statement implies to all the members of staff.
Yeah. Also, I think different ethnic groups have different beliefs. Yeah.
About others.
About others, because these are beliefs that we've grown up with, and we know that they've always been there. Yeah.
Thank you. What about in the workplace? How does ethnicity manifest itself in the workplace, both negatively and positively? Maybe if we could start with the positive side of manifestation of ethnicity in the workplace.
I'll
Yes,
go
Pauline.
first. As someone from the publishing department,
Yes.
we are careful when we are selecting our author teams to ensure that we include at least people from different regions
Yes.
of the country, because we have an understanding that the way this greatly affects on how our books are going to be received out there. And there's also a general national belief that people from the coast region are the best Kiswahili. So
Being the native speakers.
naturally. So they'll relate more with books that are written by the Swales.
So that affects how we compose our author teams.
Greatly.
Thank you.
It greatly affects.
Thank you, Pauline. Any other manifestation within the workplace?
Yes. There's now when we are recruiting salespeople for the various regions of the country,
Yes.
we also have that same kind of consideration, making sure that all the regions are represented in the various teams, so that our books are able to penetrate into all regions of the country, and the customers are able to relate with the salespeople because they come from those regions, and they're able to identify with them, and they can be able to communicate their requirements and whatever they need very easily with the salespeople.
With the people that they know, so they're more comfortable and make the work easier.
Makes the work easier.
Thank you. What about manifestation of ethnicity within our environment out of the workplace?
To start you off, Machungu,
Yes.
I think that's a very interesting aspect of ethnicity, because we totally have no influence over what our stakeholders are going to perceive ethnicity as, or how they're going to react to ethnicity. For myself, I'm in credit control, a customer-facing department, so I get to interact a lot with clients who come from different backgrounds. And when a client finds out that I am from their native background, they would wish to engage me in the native language. They are more comfortable in that language. So what do I do in that instance? I will make them as comfortable as possible, and I'll try and collect as much money as possible. And they also want to order. So for me, it's a positive thing.
And another negative aspect of ethnicity that can take place in the workplace is now when people begin to speak in their local dialect, instead of allowing others to come into their... So that means they're going to enclose themselves in a certain circle where it's only them who are able to communicate.
And they exclude everybody else.
They exclude everyone else, that is wrong.
What about still manifestation of ethnicity outside? Negative.
I think we cannot escape as Kenyans the issue that sometimes, especially around election times, our ethnic groups get really polarized depending on the presidential candidates and where they come from. And this does not normally fade away just after the elections. Sometimes it carries on and fades away slowly and comes to affect the way people relate, with some regions being sort of guarded against other regions and so on.
Does that affect our work at Oxford University Press?
I believe it does, because we don't work in a vacuum.
And I'm just wondering, we talk about outside and inside, but nothing personal. What about within this group? Has anyone ever experienced ethnic bias in the workplace?
I relate with that very well.
Yes,
I worked in a department where our head of department was from a certain ethnic group.
Yes.
And that was quite different from my own ethnic group. And this was in my early 20s.
Yes.
So in this department, I was right from college and I was quite hardworking, very aggressive, a go-getter, and my performance was quite good. And we got a vacancy for an assistant supervisor that I was interested in. And I applied for that position. And one of my colleagues also applied that had just joined the company 6 months back. I actually took her through the training and trained her through our areas of the responsibilities that we used to do. So I applied for the position, went through the interview. And to my shock or surprise, I didn't get that position.
Reason being?
Reason being that I did not belong to that ethnic group, that my head of department. It was quite demotivating because actually you could not even have guessed who would have gotten that position, because the person who joined 6 months ago is the one who took, because she belonged in that ethnic group.
So what did you do after that?
I decided that this is my chance. It's either I stay in the same position, or I look at a place where I can actually move in terms of career, or I can actually grow my career. So I got an opportunity, and luckily I got that position
In a
different organization.
Ethnic bias.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, I think I've also experienced negative ethnicity out there, especially I work with printers because I work in production. And sometimes, as you might know, most people who run printing presses in Nairobi are from the Indian community. Sometimes you'll be in a negotiation with them, and then suddenly they'll take off and start speaking in Gujarati. In your presence. Yeah, or in Hindi or some other language. And you'll be wondering what has just happened. That feeling of exclusion is really bad. And you get really demotivated, and it's not something that you would wish for in the workplace. It's a manifestation of that negative side of ethnicity.
Simon, this one goes back to you.
Yeah.
What is the official position of Oxford University Press in regard to ethnic diversity?
I think, as we all know, Oxford University Press works in many countries around the world, and amongst diverse cultures. And also, Oxford University Press is a department of the University of Oxford that accepts students from all over the world and has staff from all over the world. With that kind of context, we are an organization that really values diversity and inclusion at work. And we really work hard to make sure that work is comfortable, that people are not judged on the basis of their ethnicity, but that they feel comfortable to express themselves and be who they are and be productive. And it's also in this vein that we have a listening ear to our staff, especially staff who are posted in the field, when they feel that they might be more comfortable in a certain hosting culture. That they are posted in those areas because they'll be more comfortable there. They can relate to those cultures and they'll be more productive there, especially because you do know that as we've talked about our politics, that sometimes it gets very hot out there and very polarizing.
Thank you for that. And now to the panel. How can we promote this diversity at Oxford University Press?
I think firstly we need to acknowledge the importance of ethnic biases and know how they shape our views of each other, and just have an appreciation of the methods of how we can deal with the effects that come from those sorts of views. Because if we do that, that will help us to be clear-cut competitive in the marketplace. Yeah.
And to add on that, maybe one of the ways we can enhance that diversity and inclusion, of course, this campaign is one way, and also we can just appreciate that we all we value diversity and inclusion, and that will enable us to retain our very talented staff in Oxford, and avoid cases of what Rose Kivuva encountered in her previous workplace.
Yes.
I think if we accept each other the way we are accepting our own ethnic background, we can come together and come up with methods and create inclusivity among each other, so that we have job satisfaction amongst ourselves in the organization, and nobody feels left out.
Let us also strive to understand the inclusive workplace, the model of inclusive workplace behavior, where this will allow us to take advantage of our differences and ensure that we have increased employee participation. And together we'll be happy Oxford
Where
employees.
everybody is involved.
Yes.
That's true.
And also, I think our different ethnicity groups or backgrounds spice our diverse ways of thinking, hence promoting creativity and innovation, as you can see.
Like the different colors of the rainbow.
Yes.
Yes, Dorito.
For me, I think we need to walk the talk.
Yes.
We already have respect as our objective. We need to now recognize these groups exist and have mutual respect.
Thank you very much for your contributions. And now, viewer, we come to the end of our talk show. And I'm your host, David Muchongo. See you next time.